Alex checked his cargo hold one last time. The bay doors were open. A soft wind blew dust inside. He sighed and stepped back. The hangar was empty but still alive with the hum of machines. He felt a gentle thrill as he remembered the day that changed his life. On a clear morning above Zarnia's moon, Alex saw the flicker of a signal. His sensors flashed red. He steered his small freighter down through the thin atmosphere. Rocks and dust flew past the window. His heart raced. He saw the broken shuttle amid the craters. He saw her. She lay on the ground, motionless. Her silver hair spread like a pool around her head. Her uniform was torn. A faint pulse light glowed from her temple. Alex did not wait. He activated the suit port and stepped onto the surface. Each breath came heavy in his suit. He knelt beside her injured body. He placed his hand on her shoulder. He whispered, "I will help you." She opened her eyes and blinked. They shone with pain and relief. He gently lifted her into his arms. She weighed less than he expected. He ran for the airlock, every step echoing in his suit. Inside the ship, he rushed her to the med bay. Lights blinked as he set her down. The med droid arrived moments later. It scanned her wounds and made quiet beeps. The machine's arms moved with care. Hours felt like days. Alex stared at the droid's dome. He kept his promise. He would not leave her side. At last, the droid spoke in a steady voice. "She is stable," it said. Alex felt warmth flood his chest. He let out a breath he did not know he held. He pulled off his helmet and ran his fingers through his hair. He stared at the princess as she slept. He thought she looked peaceful. Alex left the bay and walked to the observation deck. Stars filled the sky beyond the glass. He rested his forehead against the cool pane. He thought of Earth, small and blue in the distance. He thought of the princess and her people. He promised himself he would see her again. As he watched the stars, he felt a spark of hope. He set his ship's course for home. A new day would come tomorrow. His quiet memory had become a living promise, and soon his life would change forever. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes. He felt the rhythm of life pulse around him. The hum of engines mixed with his own heartbeat. He remembered the princess's soft voice. He remembered her gentle smile. He knew he could face any danger now. He walked back to the flight console. He pressed a series of buttons. The screen showed the Earth system. He smiled as the gate engaged. Lights turned green. The engines roared to life. Alex gripped the controls firmly. He felt ready. Tomorrow, his quiet memory would guide him into a new chapter. Alex sat in the pilot's seat when the alarm rang. A red light blinked on his console. It was a distress beacon from Zarnia's moon. He checked the signal strength. It grew stronger by the second. Heart pounding, he flipped switches and guided his freighter down through space. Outside, nothing but stars, and the gray curve of the moon filled his view. He cut his engines and dropped through the thin atmosphere. Dust swirled around the ship as it slowed. He found a flat clearing near the beacon's source and set the landing struts. The freighter's engines hissed, then went silent. He stood and pulled on his helmet. The airlock opened with a whoosh. Cold wind rushed in, carrying moon dust. Alex stepped out, boots crunching on loose rock. He kept his eyes on the beacon's direction. An orange glow marked the crash site half a mile away. Alex moved fast. His suit's lights shone ahead. He saw twisted metal and scattered tools by a crater. The princess's shuttle lay broken, its nose buried in rock. Smoke rose from a torn fuel line. He took a deep breath. He could feel the heat even through his suit. He called over the radio. "This is Alex. I'm here to help." No answer came back, but the beacon's pulse grew faint. He hurried closer. Inside the wreck, he found her slumped on a seat frame. Her pale face was streaked with dust. Her eyes fluttered, but pain kept them closed. Alex knelt beside her and felt for a pulse. It was slow but steady. He pulled out a small medkit and pressed a patch to her forehead. A soft hiss of foam eased her bleeding. She gasped and tried to sit up. Alex gently held her shoulders, careful not to hurt her more. Behind him, the shuttle's fuel tank cracked. A low rumble shook the ground. "Time to go," Alex said. He lifted the princess into his arms. Her body was light, but he moved swiftly. Each step took him farther from danger. Smoke curled up from the broken hull. Back at the freighter, he slid her onto a stretcher in the medbay. He locked the hatch behind him. Lights above blinked green as the ship sealed and vented the toxic smoke outside. Alex activated the med droid. It rolled forward, scanners glowing. The droid scanned the princess's body and sprayed healing gel on her wounds. Alex watched the readouts on the wall screen. Her vitals climbed from weak to stable. Relief washed over him. He pressed a hand to his chest. He had kept his promise to help her. Through the small window, he saw the moon fade away as the ship lifted off. Alex set a course for Zarnia's space station. He felt the first spark of something new, hope. He would bring her home safely, whatever it took. The princess woke in the medbay. Soft lights glowed around her. She felt gentle hands on her arm. Her eyes opened slowly. She saw Alex kneeling beside her, worry in his face. He smiled and brushed a stray hair from her cheek. She tried to sit up. Pain made her gasp. Alex helped her lean back on the pillow. He pressed a button. The med droid arrived and offered her water. She drank carefully. The cool liquid eased her throat. When the droid moved away, she looked at Alex. "Thank you," she whispered. Her voice held warmth and fear. Alex shook his head. "You saved me first," he replied softly. She closed her eyes and nodded. She studied the suit he wore. It was Earth design, simple and strong. She touched its smooth surface. "Your world is far," she said. "I am a stranger here." He met her gaze. "You are welcome," he answered. She reached into her uniform and pulled out a small device. It hummed with light. "This is my family's sign," she said. Its emblem glowed faintly. "It marks me as Princess of Zarnia. I carry hope for my people." Alex held the device gently. She took a breath and spoke with care. "I owe you my life," she said. "My planet may face dark times soon. I ask one thing." Her eyes searched his. "Promise you will remember Zarnia. Promise you will answer when we call." Alex felt his heart tighten. He looked at the princess and then at the device in his hand. He closed his eyes and nodded. "I promise," he said. His voice was firm. "I will never forget your world. I will come back if you need me." She sighed with relief. A faint smile touched her lips. She placed her hand on his gloved palm. "Chosen," she whispered, a word she spoke only to those she truly trusted. Alex felt a gentle warmth spread through him. The med droid beeped softly. It adjusted her bandages and scanned her vitals. The screen showed her strength returning. The princess watched the readouts and then turned back to Alex. "Rest now," she said. "We will speak again soon." Alex stood and stepped back. He studied her calm face. He felt the weight of his promise. He knew this moment would shape his life forever. He walked to the viewport and looked at the stars. The light of Zarnia's moon shone through. In that quiet time, Alex held his vow close. A simple word, promise, echoed in his mind. He would carry Zarnia's hope like a beacon in the dark, and he would be ready when his new friend needed him most. Alex guided his freighter through Earth's orbit. He checked all systems as the ship edged toward the docking bay. The long journey back felt both familiar and strange. He had made countless runs before, but this time, everything felt different. When the airlock cycled open, Alex stepped into the busy port. Mechanics and pilots bustled around him. The hum of engines and distant chatter filled the hangar. He moved through the crowd, clutching the princess's signet device in his pocket. He tried to act normal, but whispers brushed past him like wind. A ground crew chief paused and nodded toward Alex's freighter. "That's the ship of the Chosen," he said in a low voice to his colleague. The other man's eyes widened. Alex heard them mention Zarnia's moon and the royal princess. He forced himself to stay calm and keep walking. He reached the customs desk and set down his papers. The officer glanced at his name and ship ID, then lifted an eyebrow. "You're Alex Mason?" she asked quietly. When he nodded, she leaned forward. "They're calling you the Chosen," she whispered. "Your story is all over the news feeds." Alex gave a small smile and collected his clearance. Outside the port, he walked down a lit corridor toward the exits. Holoscreens displayed highlight reels of his rescue mission. The shattered shuttle, the med bay, the grateful princess. People watched him with curious eyes. Some pointed. Others bowed their heads in respect. Alex felt a flush creep up his neck. He left the terminal and caught a shuttle to his small apartment. Gray buildings passed beyond the window, and neon signs shimmered in the night. He held the signet device tightly in his hand. Its soft glow reminded him of Zarnia's moonlight. He slipped it into his jacket pocket. At home, Alex sank into his worn chair and pressed play on his personal holo feed. News anchors praised his bravery. Scholars debated what his promise meant for human-alien relations. One reporter called him Earth's true hero. Alex paused the video and turned off the projector. His apartment fell silent except for the hum of the life support. He opened a drawer and pulled out a small journal. He wrote a single line. "People whisper already. I did one good turn, and now I feel alone." He closed the journal and lay back on his cot. His mind raced with questions. What did it truly mean to be chosen? Could he live up to that title? Sleep came slow. In his dreams, the princess stood on Zarnia's white cliffs, calling his name across endless seas. He reached for her, but the distance stretched forever. He woke before dawn, heart pounding, and stared at the ceiling. Morning light seeped through the blinds. Alex rose and dressed in his flight suit. He paused at the window and looked up at the sky. Countless stars winked in silent promise. He touched the signet device in his pocket. The whispers of Earth faded, replaced by a single thought. He would answer the call when it came. In the quiet dawn, the promise he made echoed louder than any whisper. 2 seconds, 2 weeks passed quietly. Alex worked his normal routes, carrying supplies between colonies, but he kept the princess's signet device safe in his desk drawer. Most days, life felt routine. Yet he waited for the message that would change everything again. One evening, the comm console buzzed. He tapped the screen. A holo image flickered to life. It showed the princess in her royal uniform, standing tall before a grand throne hall. Behind her, crystal pillars glowed with soft light. Alex's heart skipped. "Alex Mason," she began, her voice clear and calm. He rose from his chair. She pressed a hand to her chest. "Zarnia's peace is shattered. A new threat gathers beyond our borders. I ask you, as my promise kept, to return and help defend my world." He swallowed hard. He glanced at the smartphone-sized device in his hand. It held her seal and showed her plea. He nodded, even though she could not see. "I will come," he said. "Tell me what I must do." Her expression softened. "Prepare for a long journey. The enemy uses shadow gates hidden in asteroid fields. We need your human intuition to find them. Your command ship is ready." The holo image winked out, leaving Alex in the dim glow of his apartment. Alex stared at the empty console. He felt a rush of purpose. He packed his bag with essentials: flight suit, tools, medkit. He slipped the signet device into his pocket. He checked his schedule. His next contract was weeks away. He canceled it without regret. Soon, Alex stood on the platform of the Earth Wormgate station. Ships waited in silent lines beneath bright lights. Pilots moved with purpose. He took a deep breath and climbed into the bridge of a sleek cruiser. Its hull bore Zarnian symbols in silver and blue. A young officer approached. "Welcome back, Chosen," she said with respect. She led him to the tactical table. There, maps of space routes and asteroid belts projected in holographic form. Alex leaned forward, tracing paths with his finger. The shadow gates open only for seconds, the officer explained. They hide within the Cora fields. We need your instinct to spot the right signature. Alex nodded. He studied the star patterns and gas clouds. His mind raced with possible strategies. Outside the viewport, stars streaked past as the cruiser jumped through the worm gate. The familiar rush filled Alex with confidence. He held the princess's signet device in his hand and felt its gentle warmth. He took his place at the navigation console. "I'm ready," he said. His voice was steady. The team around him prepared scanners and weapons. In that moment, Alex knew this was more than a mission. It was the promise he made come alive. As the cruiser sped toward Zarnia's sector, Alex looked at the stars again. The call had arrived, and he answered without doubt. Ahead lay danger and uncertainty, but he carried hope for a world that had named him Chosen. The cruiser's engines thrummed as it swept through the worm gate. Stars blurred into streaks of light. Alex held the signet device in his hand, its soft glow a steady reminder of his promise. Around him, Zarnian crew prepared for the long voyage. In the mess hall, he sat with officers from the Royal Guard. They drank hot tea in silence, their eyes on him with respect. A guard captain leaned forward. "Chosen," she said, using his title like a prayer. "Our world awaits your return." Alex nodded and offered a small smile. He felt honored but humble. After the meal, Alex toured the ship's bridge. He checked the navigation console and inspected the shadow gate scanner. The ship's AI voice greeted him. "All systems are operational." He ran his fingers over the controls, remembering Earth's freighter. This vessel was faster, sleeker, and painted with Zarnian colors. He walked to the viewing platform. Through the transparent hull, he saw an endless field of stars mixed with rocky asteroids. The Cora fields lay ahead. Hidden within those stones were the enemy's shadow gates. His task was to find them before they trapped the cruiser in a deadly ambush. Alex reviewed the star charts again. The patterns felt familiar, like a puzzle he once solved. He closed his eyes and let his instincts guide him. He imagined the flow of gravity and light. When he opened his eyes, he pointed to a cluster of asteroids. "There," he said quietly. "That grouping looks off, like it hides something." The captain nodded and ordered the scanners to focus there. Seconds later, a faint ripple appeared on the scanner screen. The crew murmured with excitement. Alex felt a surge of pride. He had found the first gate. Moments later, the ship glided toward the marked spot. The asteroids loomed on all sides. Alex sat at the navigation console, guiding the path through tight gaps. Sweat beaded on his brow. He remembered the princess's soft voice urging him to be brave. The scanner beeped again. Another shadow gate flickered into view, hidden behind a rocky outcrop. The crew held its breath as Alex adjusted the course. The cruiser slid through the narrow passage and emerged on the other side of the field. Stars shone brighter here, and space felt calm. The captain approached Alex with a grateful smile. "You have done us proud," she said. Alex nodded, his chest swelling with relief. He tapped the signet device in his pocket, feeling its warmth echo through him. Later, he stood alone on the ship's deck, under the fake sky dome. He looked at the holographic stars overhead and thought of the real ones outside. He knew the hardest part lay ahead, guiding the fleet into battle. Yet he felt ready. Before leaving the deck, Alex sent a silent message to the princess. "I am close, my friend. I keep my promise." He watched the message send and felt the weight of his vow lighten for a moment. As the cruiser plunged deeper into enemy space, Alex prepared for what was to come. He was no longer just a pilot from Earth. He was the chosen, ready to protect Zarnia and honor the promise he gave long ago. The cruiser slipped through the last worm gate and into Zarnia's orbit. Below, the planet's surface glowed with blue oceans and emerald continents. Clouds swirled around tall mountain ranges. Alex pressed his hand to the viewport, awed by the beauty he helped protect. At the royal docking station, the cruiser descended slowly. Its hull reflected the light of Zarnia's sun. Thousands of Zarnians gathered on the landing platform. They wore colorful robes and held banners that read "Chosen." Their faces shone with hope. As the doors opened, the captain led Alex down the ramp. Every step felt heavy with meaning. The crowd parted to let him pass. Children reached out to touch his uniform. Elders bowed low, whispering blessings. Alex nodded respectfully, surprised by the honor. A royal guard bowed and offered his arm. "Your Highness, Princess Aria awaits," he announced softly. Alex followed him through grand halls made of ivory stone. Crystal chandeliers hung from high ceilings. Music played in the distance. In the throne room, Princess Aria stood beside her mother, Queen Siren. Aria wore a gown of silver that matched her hair. Siren's crown shone with blue gems. They watched Alex approach. Aria stepped forward and lifted her hand. "Welcome home, Chosen," she said, her voice clear and warm. Alex bowed his head. "Thank you, Princess," he replied. He handed her the signet device he carried. Siren smiled and spoke next. "You have brought our hope back to us," she said. "Zarnia owes you its gratitude." She turned to Aria. "My daughter, you chose well." Aria nodded and pressed Alex's hand gently. The crowd cheered outside the windows. Their voices rose like a wave. Alex felt his heart swell. He looked at the princess and queen, realizing how deeply they trusted him. After the ceremony, Alex toured the palace gardens with Aria. Flowers glowed with soft light in many colors. Birds with bright plumage sang overhead. Aria pointed to statues of past rulers and explained their deeds. Alex listened, eager to learn her world's history. She stopped by a fountain made of marble. Water danced in the air, lit by hidden lights. "This is my favorite place," she said with a smile. Alex sat on the fountain's edge beside her. The crowd's cheers faded behind them. Aria looked at Alex and sighed softly. "I am glad you came," she said. "My people believe in you." "So do I," Alex nodded. "I will not let you down," he promised. As the sun set over Zarnia, pink and gold filled the sky. Alex watched the colors reflect in Aria's eyes. He felt a quiet strength grow inside him. He had been called chosen, and now he understood what it meant, to stand for hope and courage in the face of fear. Together, they walked back toward the palace, ready to face the battles ahead. The chosen hero and his princess, side by side under a foreign sky, prepared for the dawn of a new age. Morning light filled the war room. Alex stood at a large table covered with star charts and holoprojections of enemy fleets. Around him, Zarnian commanders spoke in hushed tones. The air felt tense, as if the room itself held its breath. Commander Rena pointed to a cluster of red symbols on the map. "These are the invaders' battle groups," she said. Her voice was steady but urgent. "They will strike our coastal cities within 2 solar cycles." Alex leaned forward, tracing the paths with his finger. "Human tactics can help," he offered quietly. "On Earth, we use feints to draw their forces off balance." Rena studied him. "Explain." Alex tapped the map, creating a ripple that shifted the enemy symbols. "We send small, fast ships to threaten their flank. When they respond, our main fleet moves in from the opposite side." General Tarek stepped forward. His uniform was stained with ash from recent skirmishes. "The enemy moves like shadows," he said. "They hide in asteroid fields and warp in suddenly. Can your idea work against that?" Alex took a breath. "Yes. We bait them near a hidden gate, then cut them off as they emerge." Aria watched from her seat at the head of the table. Her calm eyes met Alex's. He felt a steady confidence from her. He explained more. "We need a distraction team. Zarnian skimmers are fast. They can draw the enemy's attention. Meanwhile, our cruisers block the gate exit." Commander Rena nodded slowly. We can assign the skimmers under Captain Miro. He trusts you, Chosen. Alex felt the weight of the title again, but did not hesitate. I will lead the distraction team, he said. My experience with loose asteroids will help us navigate safely. Orders rang out. Officers rushed to relay commands. The holomap faded, replaced by real-time updates on the station's screens. Alex stepped back, letting the commanders work. He touched the signet device in his pocket, feeling its faint warmth. Late afternoon, Alex stood on the hangar deck beside the sleek skimmer ships. Pilots checked engines and weapons. He looked at their faces, brave and determined. He nodded to Captain Miro. Let's show them what Chosen means, he said. The captain grinned and clapped him on the shoulder. As the skimmers launched, Alex felt a surge of excitement and fear. He climbed into his ship and strapped in. The cockpit lights glowed. Outside, the hangar door opened to the dark sky. Asteroids drifted beyond, like ghosts waiting in space. Alex took a deep breath. He whispered, "For Zarnia." The engines roared, and the skimmer leaped into the void. He guided it toward the first waypoint near the hidden gate. Ahead, the invaders waited in silence. In that moment, Alex knew the promise he made was more than words. It was action and courage. As the chosen hero of Zarnia, he would face the rising threat head-on, no matter the cost. Alex's skimmer cut through the darkness of space. He followed the flight path toward the hidden gate. Sensors beeped softly, tracking asteroid patterns. Behind him, 6 other skimmers trailed close. All units, stay sharp. Alex's voice crackled over the comm. Draw their fire, then break off. He felt tension in his chest as they neared the ambush point. Ahead, enemy fighters appeared from behind a cluster of rocks. Their ships were dark and angular. They moved with silent speed. Alex signaled his team. Now. The skimmers veered left and swooped past the foes. Lasers flashed in the void. Bright beams sliced through the darkness. Alex fired his own cannons, creating flares of light. The enemy scrambled to respond. His wingmen zipped in tight formation. One skimmer took a hit to its wing, but the pilot kept control. Alex banked sharply, drawing pursuers away from the main fleet's path. His heart pounded as he danced between asteroids. On the command bridge of the cruiser, Aria watched the holofeed with clenched hands. "Chosen," she whispered, "bring them here." Back in the skimmer, Alex saw a shadow gate flicker into view. It glowed with a pale blue shimmer. This was the trap he needed. He led the enemy toward it. "Keep pushing," he urged his team. "Don't let them see the exit." The enemy fighters chased Alex and his wingmen, firing relentlessly. One skimmer spun out, its engine damaged. Alex veered close and offered cover fire. His lasers struck the enemy ship, forcing it to retreat. Behind them, the cruiser and Zarnian cruisers burst from another shadow gate. Their heavy guns opened fire on the enemy flagship. Explosions lit the darkness like stars. Alex grinned. The plan worked. He guided his skimmer away from the fight and back through the hidden gate. The enemy pursuers followed too close. As they passed the gate, the cruiser's cannon struck them. Ships broke apart in bright blossoms. "Target neutralized," Alex reported, voice steady. In the distance, he saw the main fleet engaging the rest of the enemy forces. Blue energy shields flickered under heavy fire. Zarnian warships pressed forward. Alex's skimmer landed back on the cruiser's deck. He climbed out, helmet tucked under his arm. Aria rushed forward, her face shining with relief. "You did it," she said, her voice full of gratitude. Alex nodded, chest heaving. "We all did it," he replied, glancing at the pilots who stood behind him. Commander Rena joined them. "Your tactics saved us," she said. "Zarnia owes you more than words can say." Alex pressed the signet device in his pocket. It felt warmer than ever. Above them, the stars shone again in peace. The threat had passed for now. Alex looked at the glow of Zarnia's sun rising over the horizon. He felt hope swell in his heart. He stood tall, the chosen hero of a distant world, and as Zarnia's light bathed him, he knew he had kept his promise. The battle ended as the first rays of Zarnia's sun crept over the horizon. Wrecked enemy ships floated silently among the asteroids. Zarnian vessels drifted in calm formation. Alex stood on the cruiser's deck, watching the light spread across the sky. Around him, the crew cheered softly. They did not shout too loudly, respecting the quiet miracle of peace. Alex's heart felt light. The promise he made to the princess and her world had been honored. He spotted Princess Aria walking toward him. She wore simple attire today, without crowns or jewels. Her silver hair caught the morning light. She smiled as she reached him. "You have saved us all," she said, her voice warm with gratitude. Alex bowed his head. "I only did what I promised," he replied. She placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Behind them, the royal fleet prepared to return to the palace. Citizens of Zarnia would welcome their heroes. Alex knew the celebration would be grand, but he also felt a sense of calm. War was over for now. Aria led Alex to the cruiser's conference room. Inside, Zarnian leaders gathered around a long table. Queen Siren sat at the center, her expression proud. She motioned for Alex to join them. "Today, we honor you, Alex Mason," the queen announced. "For your courage and your promise, Zarnia names you Guardian of the Light." She placed a simple silver ring on the table before him. Its gem glowed with soft blue light. Alex knelt and picked up the ring. He felt its warmth, as if it carried the sun's first rays. He looked at the queen and bowed. "I accept this honor," he said. Applause filled the room. Aria smiled brightly and stepped forward. She slipped the ring onto Alex's finger. "Guardian," she whispered, "may this bond guide us into the future." Alex met her gaze and nodded. After the ceremony, Alex walked through the palace gardens. Flowers glowed in the early light. Birds sang songs of peace. He held Aria's hand as they strolled along marble paths. "Will you return to Earth?" Aria asked softly. Alex thought of his home, his freighter, and the quiet nights watching the stars. He smiled. "I will," he said, "but I will always come back when you call." She leaned against him and looked up at the sky. "Then our worlds will be linked forever," she said. They paused by a fountain where water sparkled in the morning sun. Alex looked at his reflection in the rippling surface. The man who once flew a simple freighter now stood as guardian of Zarnia. He breathed in the fresh air and felt hope fill his chest. Ahead lay new challenges, rebuilding cities, forging alliances, and exploring the stars together. But he felt ready. He carried Zarnia's trust like a guiding light. As the sun rose fully, Alex and Aria walked back to the palace hand in hand. The streets ahead were lined with cheering citizens. Banners fluttered in the breeze. The chosen hero and his princess moved forward together into a new age, one of peace, promise, and the bright dawn of friendship between two worlds.